Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In accordance with Section 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provision of the zoning bylaw and permission to extend or alter legal non-conforming uses and consent to sever property to create new lots. My name is Isaac Laluz. I'm chairing the hearing. And with me today, members are Ms. Satarodi, Ms. Manning, Mr. Khan, and Mr. Hunt. City staff assisting us and moderating the platform are Mr. Simon Lam, who is the Deputy Secretary Treasurer, Sam Muzayani, Brandon Clapp, and Olivia Antona. For land acknowledgement, we acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel. Anyone wishing to view the hearing might do so by watching on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer, tablet, smartphone, and have the option of participating via video or audio only. All virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you also mute your devices until you're called on to speak. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelists when your item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled. You will only be visible during your 5-minute allotted time. All the other time, your video will be disabled and you will be reinstated as an attendee for both in-person and virtual participants. Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist control during a video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist role if you fail to respect these instructions. Receiving a copy of the committee. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card. I believe they're found over there. And those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address, because the Committee of Adjustments and the TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email only. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto local appeal body known as TLAB, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Lands Tribunal known as the OLT. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and recently removed generally the right of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the appellant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, special persons as defined in the Planning Act are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentations if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and or take the matter directly for a decision. Each speaker, including the appellant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when the 5-minute mark is reached. Any presentations or other material you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address, and please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make the presentation on the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to receive a notice of the application are informed of the changes. Then individuals, either in support or in opposition to the application, will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room here today, and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker at the end of their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has the chance to address only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion, and the application will be taken to committee for decision. Now, for this afternoon, we have one set of minutes to approve, and that is September 14. And here we had Mr. Tarodi and Mr. Hunt. Both of you were on that one. So that's September 14. Can I please have a motion to adopt? Mr. Tarodi, thank you.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, a motion to adopt the minute.
Tarodi.
September 14, 2023.
Thank you. And second? Mr. Hunt is seconding. Thank you. And that is for the staff. September 14 minutes are now adopted. Now, for this afternoon session, members and staff, any conflict of interest to declare? No? No. Thank you. And Mr. Deputy Secretary, any files to close?
Through you, Mr. Chair, there are no files to close this afternoon.
Thank you. Okay, so now we have just one application to defer. We have request for deferral, and we'll see which one is that. That is number application number 19, which is 34 CLAREVILLE CRESCENT, and there is a request for deferral. And here who do we have here? 19. Jonathan Benkowski, are you there?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, committee.
Hi. Could you please tell us the reason for the deferral of this application?
Yeah, we received Urban Forestry's comments, and we've already shifted the building. We just haven't had time to get a revised zoning review or additional comments from Forestry.
Okay. Now, you're the only one here. Anybody in the chamber here for this? Please come up.
Oh, sorry.
Not this one. Okay. Okay, that's fine. This is only for a deferral here. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And online there is nobody registered here. So members, any question for this speaker? So you heard the reason for the deferral. Can I have a motion? Miss Manning?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve deferral.
Not to
I think
approve.
that
This is for deferral.
Yeah, sorry. I'd like to make a motion to defer this application.
Okay, Sanidai?
Sanidai.
Thank you. Second? Mr. Hunt seconding. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, sir, your application is deferred, Sanidai. Check with the staff when it's coming back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 19. That's 34 Clareville. Okay, now we there is no other deferrals here. No. Okay.
I know, but things have developed, and my neighbors asked me to ask for deferral. We were given 3 days to do it.
Excuse me, we don't hear you. Could you tell us exactly what you're here for? Huh?
Mr. Chair, if she is a neighbor requesting a deferral, she can do it when the item comes up.
Yeah. Well, let's see which item you're in.
I'm number 25, and you said first you're working
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
deferrals.
Before we weren't allowing the neighbors to make deferral. Now we do, but you have to wait for your
So I have to wait all the way.
for your turn. Yeah. Yeah. We can't.
We can't do
We can't
deferral.
jump no. We're right now. We're going to be on item 16. Okay, we're in item 16, which is 5 Josephine, application number 16. And the address is 5 Josephine Road. Here we have Richard Idell, or Noam Khazan, or Eddie, and Aita Tobin. I have so many people here who want for this one. Could you please tell us who wants to speak on this application?
Noam Hazan will be speaking on our behalf. This
Okay.
is Richie Idell.
Okay, so Mr. Richard Idell, you're the one who are going to be talking of this application?
No, Mr. Chairman. Noam Hazan, who's also on, he should be there.
Yeah, well,
Unmute myself.
Are you both for this application?
Yes, I'm the agent and Richard Idels is the architect.
Well, yeah, well, as you know, we give 5 minutes for the application. Who wants to speak here? You want to share it, or you want to? And who's,
Yeah, I think we could both be on, but I'll take the lead, and then
okay,
if Richie wants
okay,
to.
that's fair. Now, who's Eddie Tobias? And
Eddie is the applicant. He's the homeowner. Eddie and Ita Tobis are the homeowners.
He's not in, is he? No.
I think he is in the meeting. Yes.
Okay, but the one who want to speak is you and Mr. Hazan, right?
And Mr. Idels, yeah.
Yeah, Richard Idell and Hazan. Okay, so please go ahead. We're talking here is about new dwelling. You have 11 variances. Staff report has only condition, and we got letters of support. I have a list here. So please give us your take. Give us your 5 minutes as to the merit of this application.
Sure. So the house is for a young family with 4 kids. And essentially, the house was sort of designed in line with the neighborhood, the character of the neighborhood. There were, it's quite a large lot, so there were a couple of minor variances that we have applied for. The one variance that the city did bring up in their comments was to do with the overall length and depth of the house. And intentionally, we only sort of extended the depth of the ground floor. So on the back, if you go back up to the rendering on the previous page, you can see that there is basically just a bump out on the lower floor. The upper floor is more of an aesthetic bump out. And that sort of ties in line, we were trying to sort of kind of keep in line with the the nature of the bylaw that allows you to extend it just on the ground floor. And essentially also kind of looking at other applications in the area, we noticed that there were approved applications that allowed for similar properties to go up to 24 meters in length. So we thought this was minor enough, that as part of this proposal, basically. I think that's really it. I'm happy to address any concerns or points of any of the panel.
Okay, that's it. So you're
Maybe I just want to check if Richie wants to add anything. Richard Idels.
okay, sure. You're still in your
I don't think he's. I think he might be muted.
So please go ahead.
Okay, I just want to add that we did research the other, what the committees have allowed in the neighborhood to do this. We were very careful to try to be within the parameters that the committee is already allowed for the neighborhood. And this family has been living in this neighborhood for a while. They have a lot of friends. That's where their kids go to school. They enjoy living there, and we're hoping that everything will be good. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody here for this application? Number 16, 5 Josephine in the chamber. Nobody here. And in the and online we have just this party here. And members, any questions for these applicants? Mr. Hunt, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like some clarification on your 9th variance, talking about, I'm assuming this is under a flight path regulated by the Government of Canada, and I'm just wondering whether or not the proposed building height is going to create an issue with Transport Canada, I assume, because it's higher than the 9.14 meters.
So just to address that point, so there was an approval of 72 Palm for the same variance recently. I'm also familiar, it's basically near the Downsview Airport, and that's being decommissioned, and there's actually plans to put condos and mid-rise buildings in that area. I don't remember the exact date of when the runway is being decommissioned, but there's a huge, large development in the area, and I believe that this will no longer be active in the coming future. And again, there was a recent application that was approved based on the same variance.
All right, thank you.
Any other question? If not, can I have a motion then, please? Mr. Hunt, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Based on the satisfactory answer to my question, I would move approval of this application, subject only to the staff report, which calls for it to be developed in accordance with the site plan attached to that report.
Okay. Thank you. Second, Ms. Atarodi seconding. All in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. Okay, sir, your application is unanimously approved, subject to only the condition of the staff, which has to develop per site plan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. 17, okay. Application number 17, which is 135 MUNRO Boulevard, application 17. And here we have Khalid Ibrahim. Are you there?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and committee members.
Hi. Could you
My name is Khalid.
Yeah.
Khalid Ibrahim from IDIM Architects. I am the architect and the agent for this application. The address is 3908 White Creek Drive, Mississauga.
Thank you. So this one here is a second story and two-story addition at the rear. 5 variances. Staff report has to refuse variance number 1, 2, and 3 per applicant, as you indicated, and refuse variance number 4 from their part. So could you please, before we move there, could you tell me what is the variance you want to change, the number of it, and what you're changing it to, please?
Okay, so we, based on our discussion with the staff, our planning staff, we agreed to improve the application. So we are reducing the lot coverage from 36.58%
What's in
to 35. This
excuse
is
me.
variance number 1.
Okay, help us by just number 1 and the variance. So
Okay,
number 1, you're
no
changing.
problem.
Number 1, you're changing it to
From to 35.65% the lot coverage.
32 point.
And variance number 2, we increase the front yard setback to 6 meters.
6 meters, okay. Next.
Variance number 3, we reduced the building length to 18.97 meters.
18.97
meters, yeah.
Okay, next.
That's it. Yeah, there was no objection for variance number 5, and we didn't change variance number 4.
Okay, now what number 4? What's happened to number 4?
Actually, we are proposing a side yard setback of 0.98 meters, which is the existing setback for the 1-story house, and we are only extending the wall for the 2-story rear addition, and we are building on top of the existing wall.
Okay.
So we are not increasing the setback. And actually, should I continue the presentation, or you have another question regarding this one?
Well, you said you don't want to do anything about it, right? They asked you to refuse it, but you said no. So you still want to ask 1.8, right?
0.98.
No. The minimum required side setback is 1.8.
1.8, yes. Yeah.
There's no 1.98. Okay. Okay. So please keep going.
Okay, so actually, as I mentioned, we are using the existing setback because we are doing like an addition above the existing house and behind the garage. So we are extending the same wall. And what we had discussion with the planning staff is the planning staff was requesting to reduce the setback. So based on the conceptual design, the whole idea behind having that development for the homeowner is to add a family room at the back for their extended family, and reducing that family room width will defeat the purpose because we already have 12 feet. And in order to reduce the impact of that new sidewall, so we have done the previous mentioned improvements by reducing the building length and the lot coverage and increasing the front yard setback. Moreover, the adjacent building at 139 MUNRO Boulevard, it's an existing 2-story house, was built late 90s, and they have a side yard setback of 1.92. So there is enough separation between the building. Regarding the maintenance issue that the staff mentioned on the report, the homeowner managed to do the maintenance in the last decades for this house with the same existing side yard setback. And regarding the maintaining the character of the neighborhood, we believe that the existing setback of 0.98 meters is consistent with the existing detached houses in the neighborhood. And actually, we did a research for the previous approved decision by the committee, and we found that there are some comparables. Could you please bring the comparable sheet? So we found, we spotted around six approved applications for even less setback than what we are asking for, within like 500 to 600 100 meters of our property. I don't know if that comparable list is available. It's on the online application, but okay. Yeah, this is the one. So if you can see, even there are different type of applications: new house, new two-story house, second floor addition, rear addition. So all similar like our application, and the committee approved 0.9, even 0.61 side yard setback because it's an existing setback. So we believe that our application meets the 4th test, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Members, any question for the speaker? Okay, in the meantime, we'll see if there's anybody in the audience here that would like to speak to the application 135 Munro Boulevard? No? And online there is nobody else. So please go ahead if you have any questions to the speaker. If no questions, can I have a motion then? Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan, please go ahead.
Can I make the motion?
Please go ahead.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chair. Sir, we have 5 variances in front of us. Number 1, 2, and 3 have been modified as mentioned earlier. Number 4 by the planning staff has been recommended for refusal, and number 5 remains the same. I find number 4 as well as a minor variance, and therefore I move that this application be approved with forestry conditions.
Now, you're approving it with the changes that he just made? And what
That's right, sir.
And what you're doing about number 4? You leave it there?
Number 4 I consider is minor. Is minor variance, and 5 remains the same. So I'm approving 1, 2, 3 as changed. Number 4 remains the same. Number 5 remains the same. So I'm moving this to be approved with forestry conditions.
Okay, thank you. That's your motion. Can I have a second, please?
Thank you.
Can I have a second? Is there a second? No second. Okay, so the motion failed. There is no second. Can I have another motion then, please? Anyone for another motion? Mr. Hunt, please go ahead.
I have a question for Mr. Khan. In your approval, you indicated that, or at least in your approval, are you saying that you're approving it subject to the refusal of variance 4?
No.
Or you're waiving variance 4 because you think it's minor?
I'm waiving it, it's minor.
Okay, so I guess my question to staff would be is how do we how do we deal with that refusal?
What do you mean how to deal with it? The staff is asking to the request is to refuse number 4, but you have to make the decision. If you want to refuse it or change it, is up to you. He made change to 1, 2, 3, and number 4, you say you want to leave it as is, or you want to modify it, or you want to change it.
So I guess my question to
Well, they're
Mr.
suggesting.
Khan is,
Yeah.
do you want to modify number 4 or not?
Okay, I can modify, Mr. Hunt, your proposal I'm taking. If I may, with the permission of the chair, should I suggest 1.00 as a setback instead of 0.98?
Huh? So on number 1, 2, and 3, there is no question. Number 4, you tell me what you want to do. You want to leave it as is? You want to refuse it? You want to change it? We have to make a decision.
So, Mr. Chair, the first motion failed, or we're still working on the first motion?
No, the first failed.
First failed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're second. We're looking for next motion.
Right, and
So-
that's why Mr. Hunt is just asking Mr. Khan.
Can I
You have a motion? Can you make a motion?
make a motion?
Please, go ahead.
Yes. Through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with the following changes. Variance number 1, the lot coverage is now 35.65%. Variance number 2,
Now it's 32. He changed it to
32, 32%. Variance number 2, yes, you're correct. The front yard setback is 6 meter. Variance number 3, the building length is 18.97, and I would like to refuse variance number 4 and also subjected to urban forestry.
Thank you. So just to recap.
Sorry, can I add something? Sorry. We reduced the setback, the lot coverage to 35.65, not 32.
Mr. Deputy Secretary has a question. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I think the applicant has straightened that out. It can't be 32 because the requirement is 35. So
She said 32.
it's not 32, Mr. Chair.
Huh?
It's not 32.
35.65.
It can't be 32.
Just a second. What's the
The requirement is 35.
0.65.
He changed it to 35.65.
number 1 is 35. 35. Where's 35? Oh, he said 36.8. So you want to change it to 35, yeah?
I think I've heard that the applicant adopt what city staff recommended, but when you said 32, I thought that is something I missed. So I can just withdraw my motion, and if you want, I can repeat it.
No, go ahead. Change your, put your motion. I think I think he's correct. He said 35, but I thought he put 32 here. But the coverage is 32 requirement anyways. So,
Mr. Chair, the coverage requirement is 35.
yeah, 35.
35.
So it can't be 32. If it's going to be 32,
Yeah.
he would remove that variance. But he's not asking for 32 at all. He never did.
Okay, so what is he asking for? Anyway.
Mr. Chair, what we have,
Change it.
I have read,
Change it.
recorded is
You want to change it?
35.65.
We're in the middle of motion. Miss Tarodi has a question, has the motion on the floor. So your motion is 1, 2, 3 to change. You want to change 1 to
So
what?
I repeat my motion, and sorry for the change. Variance number 1, as per staff recommendation and applicant, its now lot coverage is 35.65%. Variance number 2, the front yard setback is 6 meters, and variance number 3, the building length is 18.97 and the meters, and I would like to remove variance number 4 as per staff recommendation and subjected to urban forestry.
Okay. Thank you. Did you hear that? Can you have a second to that? Ms. Manning, seconding, all in favor? Opposed? Mr. Hunt is opposing. Okay, sir, your application is approved. based on those changes, except number 4 is being refused. And subject.
Thank you.
And subject to forestry.
Thank you.
Okay. Application number 18, which is 20 AVONWICK Gate. Application number 18. Here we have Joe Tom. Mr. Joe Dom, are you there?
Yes, my name is Joe Dome, 133 Torresdale Avenue, agent for the owner.
Okay, so we have here a number of additions, 3 variances and 3 letters of support. Anyone here for this application number 18? Avondale? No? 20 Avondale? No. Okay, sorry, AVONWICK. Okay, no one. Members, do we need a presentation here? No? Okay. Mr. Dom, we don't need a presentation here. Do you want to add something before we go to committee?
I did have a short presentation, but if committee is satisfied to...
Well, it's up to you. You want to add something? If not, we go to the committee. You decide.
I would like to just make a short presentation.
Please.
Yeah, the owner would like to alter the existing second story, construct a rear 1-story addition, front second-story addition and balcony at the rear to accommodate their livability needs, and we have 3 variances requested. The front yard setback variance, number 2, 7.72 meters, it only represents a 1.19 meter difference from the as-of-right setback, and it's mitigated by the fact that it only pertains to the north portion of the dwelling, while the south half of the front main wall does meet the bylaw for front yard setback. And furthermore, the dwelling is significantly under the bylaw for length. It's only 13.2 meters in length on the north side, while the south side is 12 meters in length. The rear of the dwelling, including the balcony, is aligned with the rear walls of the adjacent dwellings and does not extend past them. And the proposal is also within the bylaw for lot coverage, FSI, overall height, main wall height, and soft landscaping. Yeah, there are 3 letters of support submitted on file from both adjacent neighbors at 22 and 18 AVONWICK, as well as across the street at 19 AVONWICK. And finally, planning has no concerns with the application. And we feel this application is quite reasonable and minor in nature, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any question? Can I have a motion then, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 3 variances, minor, straightforward. Move for approval of this application.
Thank you. Second, Ms. Manning, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, sir, your application is unanimously approved.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The next application, there are 2 people who are both filing agents.
Oh, just again, this 20, yeah? Terry?
I don't know which one I'm gonna leave, but
Okay, now this one here.
they're both agents for the application.
Oh, both agents.
Yes, and another thing, this one. Also, item 22. Same situation.
No, 22. 22.
This one, left one. is
Also an
actual
agent.
Yes. Probably this one not gonna talk. Just
Rick? No. How come you so good? It's true. Okay, so 20. Okay, application number 20, which is 564 Oriole Parkway. And here we have, this is a little bit confusing. We have Wakas Ahmed, and then somebody registered now by Kerry Yelk. Could you tell us, please, which one is the agent and which one wants to speak?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, Mr. Chair, my name is Wakas from Hilltop Development Corp. I am the agent for the registered property owner, and
So
I'm happy
your
to speak.
name, please, and your address, so it can be recorded on the system.
It's W-A-Q-A-S, Wakas. Last name is Ahmed, A-H-M-A-D. My address is 1357 Nielsen Road, Suite 79, Toronto, Ontario. Postal code is M1B0C6. I'm a planning consultant representing the property owner.
Thank you. So you'll be speaking for this as an agent, yeah? And this is
Yes, sir.
This is a widening of existing driveway, 3 variances. Staff report has 5 conditions, and B, the applicant made 3 changes to variance 1, 2, and 3. And then we have forestry. So please tell us what you want to change to.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we, first of all, I'd like to express my gratitude for planning staff. We've had numerous interactions with them to essentially revise the application to bring it more in keeping with the zoning bylaw. What I'm proposing is something very simple. I'm just proposing to reduce the soft landscaping to create a parking pad. That's all. There's no more forestry involvement. There was forestry involvement as there is a tree on a municipal boulevard. But as I said earlier, I've worked with planning staff to revise my proposal to essentially maintain the city-owned tree existing on the municipal boulevard. So we have no more involvement or conditions or comments from forestry anymore.
Okay. And so you're not making any changes, huh?
Well, I'm requesting 3 new variances, which is indicated in the planning staff report.
Okay. Can you please help me out? You have 1, 2, 3 variances. Are you changing anything in these variances?
Are you speaking to the 3 variances that were essentially identified
that's the one I
after
have
the
on
revision?
that's the one I have on the system, yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I'm just going forward with those 3 variances. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So can you please make a presentation as to the merits of your application before we move on?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'm happy to do that. Can you bring the site plan? There's a attachment 1 to the staff report. Sorry, there is.
Are you still there, sir? disappeared. He has some problem. Huh?
No, I didn't disappear. It's the admin staff. They put me on mute. I'm still
No.
here, Mr. Chair. I'm ready to
So please
present
finish
the
your
site plan.
presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So essentially what you're seeing there is a second parking pad on the site plan in the northern portion of the lot and then the southern portion of the lot. We've worked with planning staff. Planning staff's concern was that landscaping was deficient. So we've worked with planning staff to increase the landscaping on the lot. And we've provided and identified 2 parking spaces on the lot. Currently, the lot accommodates 1 parking. My client has got relatively elderly parents. They cannot enter this lot because there's no other parking in the winter time. It's been very hard for her. As a result, we're looking to seek these variances to essentially create another parking pad. So we are maintaining that tree as forestry staff recommended. We've increased the soft landscaping, and in my professional opinion, this meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act and the provisions of Section 41 of the Planning Act, subsection 1. I think the proposed development is very, very minor in nature and does not impact any of the adjacent properties. We also have a letter of support from the property owner to the north that has no objections to our proposal. And I'm essentially recommending that the committee adopts staff's recommendation to ratify this, to essentially approve this subject to any conditions that the committee deems appropriate. And I'm happy to take any questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anybody in the audience here for number 20, which is Oriole Parkway? No? And online we don't have any. Online we don't have anybody else. So, Mr. Ahmed, who's Kerry Elk?
Kerry Elk is another planner from my team.
Okay, so he's not against this, huh? He's not with you.
No, he's one of my planners.
Okay, all right. Members, any questions?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I just want to ask the applicant that we receive, sorry, my computer it's just turned off, the screen. So we receive, let me just.
Staff report.
We receive, okay, he's here. We received staff report dated September 26, 2023 that included 5 conditions and also changes to variance number 1, 2, and 3. And I would like to know if the suggestion of the city staff in that report, you have reviewed that report, and are you going to modify any of those 3 variants? For example, variance number 1, the front yard landscaping area have been changed from 27.79% to 35.88% as per staff recommendation. Are you adopting those changes or not? And if you have adopted those changes, would you please just give us the variance number and the changes in which you're modifying to?
Through you, Mr. Chair, thank you for the question. Yes, we are adopting those changes as recommended by planning staff. Essentially, variance 1, we are proposing 36% front yard landscaping, whereas the bylaw requires 50%. Second variance, we are proposing of that landscaping, 63% will be soft landscaping, whereas the bylaw requires 75%. Third variance is that we are proposing a 6.15 meter driveway, where the max is 6.0. Through you, Mr. Chair, this is relatively minor, and we have worked with planning staff and the planner, Paul, in particular, to go back and forth and revise this application to accommodate and satisfy planning staff's concerns and extension senior management. So in my view, we've done everything we can to improve the application to keep it more in line with the zoning bylaw. And as a result, that's why I said that the committee adopt this and recommend approval subject to conditions deemed appropriate by the committee.
And would you please repeat the variance number 1, you change it to 36%. The variance number 2, you modify it to 63% or 60%? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
63, through you, Mr. Chair, yes, that's correct. 36% is first and second is 63%.
Okay, and the variance number 3, the new number is 6.15 meters, correct?
Through you, Mr. Chair, that is correct.
Thank you very much.
1.5. And the conditions, you have the conditions? Yeah? Yeah, so you have them, yeah? Okay. So you would like me to make a motion?
Sorry, can I just confirm variance 3? It's going from 6.1 to 6.15? So he's making it wider?
The proposed is 6.1, yeah, you're right. The proposed is 6.1. Sir, did you say you're changing it to 6.15?
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, that's correct. It's 6.15.
Well, why are you increasing it? You originally asked for 6.1.
No, I am keeping it at 6.1, Mr. Chair.
Well, you just confirmed 6.15. No, say 6.1.
Sorry, I meant to say 6.15, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, it is 6.15.
That's correct, Mr. Khan.
Yeah.
It says 6.15.
Through you, Mr. Chair, that's correct. It is 6.15.
Yeah, but the stuff here is right. I mean, he's asking for more than what he originally asked for. I know, the staff report allows him to make it bigger. You can't. Anyway, you know what?
I'm happy to, through you, Mr. Chair, I'm happy to clear up any confusion if any of the committee members don't understand anything. Happy to answer any questions. Is there anything that in particular?
Yeah, we know you're happy to answer questions. Just let us please figure out what we want to do here. Do you want to go? You can make the motion and put whatever you want to change it to.
No.
She's not 1.5, but she's making a motion. Whatever she. Let's see what you make. You can't.
I am ready to put forward a motion.
Wider.
Yes,
right.
I understand. Through you, Mr. Chair, I am ready to put forward a motion.
Yeah.
So my motion will be to approve this application with the following changes. Variance number 1, the front yard landscaping is changing from 27.79% to 35.88% as per staff report and applicant request. Variance number 2, the front yard soft landscaping been changed from 44.12% to 63.17%. And I will leave the variance number 3 as is. And I also would like to add the following condition that mentioned in staff report dated September 26, 2023. The first condition is that property be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan drawing submitted to Committee of Adjustment attachment number 1. Second condition is parking area to be constructed with permeable pavers. Condition number 3, front yard landscaping area as measured under zoning bylaw number 569-22013 be minimum of 35.88%. Condition number 4, that front yard soft landscaping as measured under zoning bylaw 569-2013 be minimum of 63.17%. And also the driveway width as measured on the zoning bylaw 569-2013B, maximum width at 6.10 meter.
Okay,
And also 20.
that's it, forestry.
And forestry condition number 1.
One, yeah. Very good. Okay, can I have a seconder, please? Miss Manning seconding, all in favor? Okay, thank you, unanimous. Okay, sir, your application is approved unanimously based on all those changes. And the number 3 remains as is.
You, Mr. Chair, can the member clarify one more time for the third variance with the driveway width? I just want to make sure I completely understand what she said.
Number 3, she left it as is. We're not changing it to 6.15. So we're leaving it as is, and that is the motion, and that is the decision, and we can't discuss it anymore. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not looking to discuss it. I was just looking for your clarification. So
The
thank you for
clarification
that.
is number 3 remains as is.
Thank you. Got it.
Thank you. Number 21, which is 27 Cork Avenue. And here we have Victor Lan. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm the agent here.
Okay, could you please state your name and address for the records here?
Yeah, and I'm a Victor Lai from FDL Design and Construction Inc., the agent for the application at 27 Cork Avenue, Toronto.
Okay, so we have here, this is a garden suite with 2 variances, and staff report recommends that the structure be built as per submitted plans. Members, do we need a presentation here? Do you need a presentation? No. Okay. All right. Sir, we don't need a presentation here, but we have to see first if there is anybody here. Anybody in the chamber for number 21, which is 27 Cork Avenue? Nobody is here, and nobody is recorded on the system. So we have here just 2 variances, garden suites, and the staff, the members don't need a presentation. Could you please tell us if you want to add something before we go to committee? Mr. Victor Lan, are you there?
Yeah, no, I don't want to add anything. No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So,
Yeah, we agree with the planning staff report.
Okay. So, any question? So, can I have a motion there, please? Miss Tarodi?
Yes. Through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with one condition, that the approval applies to as-built structure and developed substantially in accordance with the drawings submitted to Committee of Adjustment, attachment 1, 2, 3 of the city's staff report dated September 21st, 2023. That's my motion with no other condition.
Thank you. Second? Miss Manning, seconding. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, sir, your application.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Subject to staff recommendation. Item 22, which is 45 Canary Crescent. Item number 22. And here for 22 we have Mengdi Jen. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And Rick Long. Who's Rick Long?
Yes, this is Rick, and I'm representing the client and as an agent.
So you'll
and the address.
So you'll be just a second. Is Mr. Long here?
Yes.
Where are you?
Just speaking. Hello, hello.
Where is he?
Hello. I am just right here. Can you hear me? Hello. Hi.
Oh, online. He registered here as in person. Okay. So we have here a
No.
person registered as in person, so you're online. Okay. So please.
We just got online. I'm in the office at Markham
Okay,
right
okay.
now.
Because here I see it on it shows in person. So please state your name and address for us, please.
Okay, my name is Rick Leung. I'm representing my client at the owner of 45 Canary Crescent. My address is 14th Avenue, Markham, postal code L3ROJ1.
Thank you. Anybody here for this application? 45 Canary? No? Okay. So members, this is a new dwelling, 3 variances and only forestry. Do we have do we need a presentation? Yeah?
Mr. Chair, I appreciate presentation, and I
Okay.
would like to also get an explanation regarding the west side yard setback, because this is different than the previous approval. I would like to know if the design have been changed, or I would like to some explanation
Thank you.
for that.
Okay, sir, could you give us a 5-minute presentation as to the merit of your application?
Yes, actually, could I have the presentation of the support documents that I uploaded last week? Okay. As you may notice that this property was presented to you on last June, and which was refused because at that time we were asking for a front yard enclosure and the removal of the neighbor tree, which is right on the left-hand side of the drawings. So after that, after the refusal, we adjust the drawings, but not the layout or the size or form of the house, but we simply shift the house to the back, so within where the front yard setback is. So we no longer require any front yard enclosure. And also, we are not proposing to remove the tree. So even though right now we are still in the tree production zone, but we are within the area of the existing footprint of the house. The picture next to the site plan is showing that with the relationship between the tree and the house, and the cold room there is where the orange area showing on the drawings. So that is the reason why we need to we're presenting it to you in front right now, and we are asking for a rear yard setback encroachment, and the proposed or the variance of the side yard is just due to the point of removing. We're shipping the house to the back, so that make a bit of a change to the side yard, where the green. If you can zoom in, because I believe that's the blue note that I'm showing on there. And I hope that would answer the questions. If you have any questions.
Yeah, okay. This shifting that you're talking about, that happened before you gave this application here? Are you making any changes to the 3 variances? No.
No, I'm not making any changes
You're not
to the
making
variances.
any. Okay. Okay, so you're not changing anything. Okay, so there is nobody here and nobody online. Members, any question? Ms. Ataruddin?
Yes, to you, Mr. Chair. I still didn't understand what was the modification you did from the previous application, which was before us. Before, the west side yard setback was 1.32, and now is 0.95, and now it's 1.35, and also you get variance number 1 and 3. Both of them are referred to west side. So would you please explain what other modification you did to the drawings that trigger these 2 west side yard setback? Variance number 1 and 3.
Variance number 1 of the required side yard setback that is 1.2. Right now it's at 1.35.
Yeah.
Originally, we have on the presentation on June, we do have the same variances, which at that time we were asking for 1.45, which is the corner that was showing there. If I could have the drawings back on the screen, then could I have the presentation? Which is the point, the corner there, where the front yard, and as you can see there, at the front yard left hand side, where the one that's go into the tree protection zone, that's that corner there only. That is where the side yard setback requirement variance comes from. And originally the house was much forward, so that we asked for a front yard encroachment at that time. So right now we moved the house, shift the whole house up to north, to the north side of it, so that now it reduced the side yard variances from, I believe what previous was like 1.4 something to to now 1.35, and also we don't have the front yard encroachment anymore, and we are asking for a rear yard encroachment. And also, we are not proposing to remove the tree anymore. And the number 3 is the same, which is the variance number 3 is the projection of the bay window at the back there. As you can zoom in, there's a bay window at the back there, which is where that trigger the variances. And which is a bay window on top, there's no foundation on it. Yeah, that could answer your question.
I understand that you shift the whole building toward north, means to back, and you mentioned that before you request for 1.4 meter west side yard setback, but the previous decision is in front of me, and on May 11th, the west side yard setback you requested was 0.95, not 1.4, but now I understand as a result of shifting the building toward the back north, so it will get closer to the lot line, which is the kind of pie shape. I understand now.
Thank you.
Are you okay with that? So can you, is there any other question up there? If there is no question, maybe you can formulate a motion? Okay. Please go ahead.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with just forestry condition, subjected to forestry. Condition number 2.
Yeah, thank you. Second, Mr. Hunt, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, sir, your application is approved subject to forestry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, committee members. Have a good day.
Okay. Application 23, which is 34 Rumsey Road. Application 23. And here we have,
Hi.
Farhad.
Abdul Wahhabi.
Yeah, okay. Are you online?
Yes.
Okay, the other one in person, okay. Could you please state your name and address, please?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Farhad Abdul Wahhabi, the architect of the project. On behalf of my client, I propose 34 Rumsey Road, East York.
Okay, so we have here, yeah, this was remodeled 2-story, was deferred in June, and
Yep.
now it's 5 variances. We have lots of letters of objection, And I don't know if you saw the letter from councillor also asking to,
Yes.
has concern about this. So could you please make us a 5-minute presentation and tell us what the merit of this application? And we have a lot of people waiting here to speak.
Yeah. First, I should thanks the staff for the comments and suggestions that they provided and help us to revise our design and match it with the requirements and the zoning bylaws. We are applying for 5 variances, as you know. It back to a couple of subjects that we submitted for review, and we had more than that one. And the last one that we got is on April the 5th, and coordination that we had with my client and coordination that I had with the staff reached to the point that we fall in just some sort of dropping some of those variances and just keep 5 of them, which is match, or in another mean it is inside or just sorry, it's the inside the norm of the neighborhood. So I don't want to say that we are in the norm, although we are, okay? I'm saying based on my, the design that we provided according to our client's request, and we have actually 4 variances, not 5. Those variances are minor, and we're requesting that the committee members to accept these items as a minor and approve our request. If you would like, I can just go through the minors, going to the variances that we're requesting in more detail. And so the first one is applying for side yard setback, which is actually it exists, the existing situation. Even we just set back 6 inches more, but still it exists. From the 22 centimeter setback that we had it in the east yard, we set it back by 6 inches, and the remaining is 0.37. So there is no way that we push it back, because one of the variances that we are applying is number 5, which is the required parking space. If we set it back, we are not able to provide that parking spaces that is needed to be 5.6. The second one is the request is for coverage of 38.91, and the third is the maximum height 8.5 versus that we have it 8.8 before, and 8.85 now, which is just a foot above that one. And the fourth one is the floor space index 0.6, which we have as 0.64. Before we apply for 0.88, that the discussion that we had, it is not obvious it's the norm or even at the neighborhood. So based on the discussion that we had, we remove one floor space, and just we have it applying for a 2-story building, and with the form that we our clients would like to have it. And as I said, that the last one, which is the required parking space, based on the coordination that I had with the staff, is just provided the requirement as per the zoning. Not what want to get more your time, just listening those objections, that if anybody asking me any question, that can answer that. And thank you so much.
Okay. This here, the application of 16, what the date here is, September 18. Are you changing anything from these variances here?
No,
No.
I have
Okay.
not changed it.
Okay, that's all I want to know. You're not changing anything, so they remain as is. Okay, now here is the question. Here we have a number of people. Anybody in the audience here? Please come up. Here. the mic is over there, huh? Right?
Oh, right there. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah. So you were waiting patiently. We better listen to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So your name, please, and your address.
1 second. Mr. Chair and esteemed panel, my name is Ms. Samit Danju Dillon, and I'm the immediate neighbor at 32 Rumsey Road. So, Mr. Chair, we have several concerns with the property, but my most pertinent concerns are that there haven't been any real changes to the plans over the course of the applications that have been submitted. What has changed is simply labeling and an attempt to describe the plan as something other than what it is. And this is most evidenced by the fact that the attic space is in fact usable space, which has to be counted in the floor space index. And the mechanical room can't be as large as it is, or it has to be counted in the floor space index. And these two primary things show intent that the space is actually being carved out for future use, as was intended in the initial application. So what my neighbors have here is a situation where their design has dormers to allow for clearance and headspace. They have operable windows on what will eventually be a third floor. That was what they initially wanted. And they don't show engineered trusses on their plans. And without engineered trusses, this panel knows that they can simply throw in a floor, throw in a staircase, and we'll have a situation where they have what they initially wanted, which was a 3-story home. And that is not in keeping in line with what is the norm in the community. I was here 4 years ago. I built a home next door. We respected this, the City of Toronto bylaws. We respected the city plan. We respected what this committee said, and we stayed in accordance with what was permitted, what was approved for us. This is a situation of bait and switch. We've indicated, take out the dormers, take out the operable windows, commit to a 2-story plan, show that you're going to have trusses so we can be aware during the construction stage that you're not going to pull a fast one, or come back to the committee in a second application after the house is up. But my main concern is that page 14 of the submission that you have before you. And if you go to page 14, Mr. Chair, you will see the 3 X's. It's page 14 of the PDF. I think it's one more, yeah, right there. If you go up, yeah, so there are 3 X's. There's one over the master bedroom, and then there's 2 other X's. And Mr. Chair, that is in my letter dated September 20th. This is an area labeled open to above with a height of 5.64 meters. And the area works out to 36.88 meters squared, and that's more than double the maximum permitted exemption of 10%. So this excess must be included in the FSI, as is the case with the attic space that's labeled as mechanical, and the zoning bylaw dictates that such space shouldn't exceed 5% of the permitted to a maximum of 20 meters squared. I do, in fact, in my home have a second mechanical room, so I know that of which I speak. This works out to a much greater space, and that excess again has to be included in the FSI. So this FSI that they have submitted here as 0.64 is a farce. And actually, if you turn to page 16 of their submission, it's 2 pages down from where we're at. I think it's one more down, perhaps. It's, let me look at mine. page. Just bear with me. I will take you to the exact page. This is my last point. It's page... Sorry, 1 second. Your Honor, there's sorry, Mr. Chair, I'm a lawyer, which is why I just called you, Your Honor. My apologies. There is a reference in here to the OBC matrix. It's item 16. And what it indicates is that the true intention of this is the, 2 units in the basement, 2 occupants in the basement, 2 occupants in the attic, and 6 occupants on the main floor.
Okay.
And that's what's really here. They have an intention to have.
Okay, I'll ask you to summarize, please. You're zero already. You passed your 5 minutes, and we have lots of other people to
I just
speak.
want the committee to be able to focus on the fact that they have their own submission here about the OBC matrix, and they've indicated that they plan to have occupants in that 3rd floor, which is not in their drawings right now. It was in their drawings, and it will eventually end up being in their house if the approval goes ahead.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Let's see if there's any question for the speaker here. Okay, thank you. We'll have other people to speak.
Thank you.
I just had one question for you. You mentioned the number of times the FSI.
Yes.
The FSI, they're allowed 0.6 and they're asking 0.64.
Yes, and
would you be able to tell the difference?
Could I?
Would you be able to tell the difference if you see a house between 0.6 and 0.64?
No, Mr. Chair, the point isn't that. The point, I'm not suggesting they shouldn't get 0.64. They're not asking for 0.64. If you add in the mechanical space, and if you add in the open air space, which the bylaw says you must, they are far in excess of 0.64. Okay. So this isn't about 0.6 or 0.64. This is a fallacy. If you add in the 2 things I asked to draw your attention to, their floor space index is far in excess of 0.64.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jocelyn Courcelle, you're online.
Hi there.
Jocelyn Courcelle?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, could you please?
That's correct. That's me.
Could you please state your name and address for us?
My name is Jocelyn Courcelle. I live at 79 McRae Drive, which is the immediate neighbor, like diagonal to them.
Okay, you heard what this lady just mentioned. Would you like to add something?
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I want to reinforce the fact that variance number 3 and variance number 4, those 2 variances allow for a 3rd floor. The 3rd floor is not in keeping with what we have in our neighborhood. There's no houses with a 3rd floor within proximity of this house. So me, 79 McRae, we did a renovation project in 2018. We supported a renovation project at 77 McRae. We supported a renovation project at 75 McRae. And we recently supported a renovation project at 83 McRae. So we're not against supporting a renovation project. What we're against is something that is not in keeping with what is in the neighborhood. A 3rd floor story, which in this case, the FSI, which again, it's not a question whether the FSI is 64. The FSI really is probably in keeping with what they originally submitted, which was 0.9. And so therefore, what we want to make sure is we're objecting to this FSI because this FSI, according to our view, is not calculated properly. It's an exercise of mislabeling things by the architect, which I would assume the architect would probably be aware of that. And that's why we are objecting. So I'm in keeping with everything else. I just want to object to the 3rd floor, which is really variance 3 and 4.
Okay, very good. Any question for the speaker? Okay, next is Susan Bellingham. Are you there?
Susan Bellingham?
Okay, can you please state your name and address, please?
Yes, my name is Susan Bellingham, and I am at 18 Rumsey Road.
Thank you.
I am a few doors down from the house in question here.
Okay.
I would Yes,
Taylor?
I would like to submit to the panel here that this is not a minor decision that you are making today. Leaside is a 2-story neighborhood of thousands of homes where people have come to this committee and received minor variances, adjustments, so that people can build what they want. Not all homes have been in keeping with the neighborhood, but all homes have been 2-story homes. This home, these homeowners are trying to put one over on you, which is why all the neighbors are objecting. They want to build a 3rd story. You've heard it from the 2 previous people. They are, in the original application, the FSI was either 0.88 or 0.9, which got the entire neighborhood angry, which is why we all wrote objection letters. And they have not changed the design. They have just put in a mechanical room. They have not in any way, shape, or form taken out that floor space from that 3rd story. They are asking to build a house that is greater than the height of all surrounding homes. Even though you might believe the variance is minor, it makes a major impact on the look and feel of this neighborhood. And I will guarantee you that if you approve this home like this, that you will start to see other people coming forward in Leaside stating 34 Rumsey Road got that 3rd story. We are only asking what 34 Rumsey Road wanted. And you will materially be changing the look of this neighborhood. Please do not allow this 3rd story. If you make it, if you include it in the FSI, they will not be able to build it because they will not have the FSI space to do it. It is an egregious request that this homeowner is asking. It is not in keeping with this area at all. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Any question for the speaker? Next is Allison Finney or Dave Finney.
Committee, thank you.
Yeah.
I was planning, can you hear me?
Yeah, could you please just state your name and address for the system?
My name is Allison Feeney and my address is 83 McCrae Drive. We are the neighbor directly to the north of 34 Rumsey. We share a backyard fence.
So do you agree with the people before?
I agree with everything that was said
Anything
before
to
from
add?
my neighbors, but I do, yes. So the 3rd floor, I don't know if you can see the north facing side that faces us is now turned into all windows. And on the 3rd floor, all windows and functional windows at that suggest to me, again, it's a huge privacy concern for me and my family. The windows will be functional. They'll be able to look out of them and have a bird's eye view of our backyard, of my children playing, but not only my backyard, all of 83 McCrae's backyard, because they're much taller and have a bigger viewpoint. Also, that because of the FSI being a farce, they're allowed to put a balcony on that's coming further back towards our backyard. And again, looking over our yards and into our house. We are not unfamiliar with the process. Sorry, we were supposed to be there in person, but I have COVID and a baby on my lap. We are not unfamiliar with the process. We are also rebuilding at 83 McCrae Drive. It's a full rebuild. So we know very well the variances, the minor variances we had to keep in with the aesthetic of the neighborhood. And I can say that this is a huge privacy concern for my family and for everybody surrounding. And, you know, I echo everybody else saying the FSI is a farce. They had a waiver instead of going to planning. Oh, that was my first point. I don't understand why we're here today. They deferred June 22nd in order to have community consultation and consultation with city planning and zoning. And that just never occurred. Instead, a waiver was written And I think the waiver was written to kind of put the wool over everybody's eyes and not look at this FSI properly. But here we are, and we are hearing it. So I do want to echo that, you know, the FSI is a farce. If we include what should be included, it's well surpass anything that is built in the area, and it's a huge privacy concern for everybody involved, but especially us sharing the north face with them. I guess I could also say, you know, if the intent isn't to make this attic a livable space and that the windows are what the architect will say is a skylight, then surely they don't need to be operational. And if it's this much of a privacy concern, then why not put skylights in the roof like everybody else had to? And that would alleviate privacy concerns. Anyway, I'm probably rambling at this point, and I know there's a lot of other people. I just want to make sure that you hear that I have a huge privacy concern with the north face of this building.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, committee.
Thank you. Any question for this speaker? No. So we have another one. Brooke Bisco, are you there? Brooke Briscoe. Brooke Bisco.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Could you please
Okay.
Could you please state your name and address?
Yes, my name is Brooke Bisco, and I live at 36 Rumsey Road, across the street from the current applicant. I would agree with everything that my neighbors have said. I would just add a couple of things. This is a corner lot or corner house, and with what the renderings have been shown so far, it would really destroy the character of the houses in the neighborhood. I do agree with my neighbors about the FSI and the height, because if you allow both of these variances, we are going to see a third-story house, and the FSI is, as I said, is a farce because the mechanical room is from what I can see is a placeholder. I don't know why this house would need two mechanical rooms when you've got a full basement mechanical room in the basement. But the other thing that I would love to ask the committee here is this application was deferred at their request, as Allison said, to get planning and community involvement. There has been no community involvement at all. I sent an email to the applicant on the 8th of September. There has been radio silence. There is just no sense of a community involvement. I mean, I know that your laws say that you should get community input. This applicant has almost defied that. And I believe that the application should be rejected. And if it comes to committee again, you should make it proviso that there is some input from community before it's accepted. I'll leave it like that.
Okay, thank you. Any question? All right, so let's get back, Mr.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Anybody else?
We have a request from Dave Finley to talk, if you allow.
Who's that?
David Finley.
I don't hear you.
Here, David Finley. Alison Finley just talked, and we have another request from Dave Finley to talk, if you are allowing that.
Yeah, if they just registered or what?
Yes.
Okay, we just had a request from emails. Somebody else want to speak, even though the house was already spoken by Alison. We have Dave Finney. Dave Finney just sent an email, wants to speak. Dave Finney, are you there? Mr. Finney, are you there? He just sent an email. Mr. Dave Finney, we'll go. We'll wait until we have the other one. Michael Barton, are you there? Yeah, Michael Barton.
Yes, that's me.
Huh? Dave, huh? There's Dave. Yeah. Michael Barton, are you there?
Yes, this is Michael Barton.
Okay, you're online. So could you please state your name and address?
Yes, so my name is Michael Barton. I'm 1489 Abbeywood Drive in Oakville. I was retained by Dave and Allison to provide a planning opinion with respect to this application.
For this
application. So I did submit.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, so I submitted a letter as well to the committee.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, so I will stick to the key points. I've heard the information that's already been given to you. So as indicated, I was asked to provide my thoughts with respect to this application. I'm a registered professional planner. So in looking at this, what we see is that the property is currently occupied by a two-story detached dwelling with no windows or livable space above the second story. It's in a neighborhood that's characterized by two-story dwellings. I think we heard that quite clear from the neighbors who spoke here today as well, that that's their feeling. The lots in the neighborhood are relatively consistent in terms of frontage area and configuration. So this does sit in the neighborhoods designation under the OP and also zoned for residential detached. Again, the variance before you for FSI is required because this has a specific 0.6 times lot area regulation. So that shows that there's a direct intent to control density in this neighborhood. I had outlined in my report how gross floor area is calculated, and that being the sum of all the levels in the building below and above ground, which includes the attic, subject to certain reductions and exclusions that are provided in section 10.5.40.40. So unless those requirements are met, the attic is to be included in the GFA. As we've heard, the application has undergone a number of revisions since it was originally brought forward. There have been two separate zoning notices. So the first zoning notice was October of 2022. At that time, the lot coverage was the same as requested here at 30.91, but the notice indicated there was insufficient information to confirm all other variances that may be required, and that included FSI. So there was an updated notice in April 2023 that confirmed an FSI of 0.88. There are plans uploaded to the Application Information Center on May 29 of this year. They show the floor area at 284.18 square meters with the basement and the garage excluded. That's a GFA that translates to an FSI of 1.07. Those plans show an FSI of 0.98, but it appears that that's based on the garage being removed from the floor area twice. That was the only way I was able to get a 0.98. These plans also show an existing mechanical room in the basement that was to be modified as part of the proposal and remain in the basement. There's a proposed loft plan that showed this area is intended for a bedroom with an ensuite and no mechanical room area. And then the OBC matrix on that drawing set shows an occupancy of 2 persons. As we've heard, there are windows on all elevations in the attic and loft on those drawings. There was the notice given on June 12th for the hearing that was here June 22nd. That was for the FSI 0.88, which was consistent with the zoning notice from April. However, the plans show different values than that 0.88. I haven't seen plans that accurately calculate to the 0.88. There were plans uploaded again on June 23rd of 2023 that showed the area reduced to 168, which excludes the garage, basement, and the attic. So this gets us to the 0.64. However, there was no floor plan included at that time for the attic and loft to allow for confirmation that the attic was appropriately removed. There was another set of drawings on September 1st. They are consistent with the floor areas from those drawings, and they include an attic loft plan, which shows 30.4 meters squared, and it shows an area open to below. This is where the attic is now identified as mechanical without any details and any explanation of why there's also a mechanical room still in the basement. This shows the OBC matrix still with a design of 2 occupancy on the 3rd floor. And then no zoning notice was actually prepared by city staff to confirm that the 0.64 reflects an appropriate calculation of gross floor area. So as I identified in my report, my concerns relate to the accuracy of the FSI that's been presented, that it actually does not accurately represent and understates the scale and density of this dwelling. I feel that the zoning bylaw should apply this attic as included in the gross floor area, that the applicant hasn't demonstrated that the floor area for the mechanical meets this 20 square meter threshold. The attic floor area is also 30.4 meters squared. There's also no calculation of whether of the vertical clearance elements that speak to how you exclude an attic from the GFA. So it appears that the applicant has really met the 0.64 by removing the loft and attic, demonstrating the criteria for doing so, and also not receiving a zoning notice to confirm that they've accurately calculated GFA. So as I learned, in my opinion, that the tests are not met, that this is effectively a 3-story dwelling.
Okay, sir, we have to ask you to summarize. You're finished with your 5 minutes, please.
Yes, so my opinion is the tests are not met. This does not meet the neighborhood character. It's not consistent. It doesn't maintain the intent of having a density regulation in this area. It's not minor when you consider what the GFA, in my opinion, actually is, and it's not desirable to approve variances that don't accurately represent the scale and density of this dwelling.
Thank you. Okay, any question for the speaker here? Okay, so we still have Dave Finney, you said? Sam? Yeah, see if he's still there.
Hi, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Okay, welcome. So could you please state your name and address, please?
Yes, it's David Feeney, 83 McRae Drive. We share a fence line with 34 Rumsey Road.
Yeah, I think Alison just spoke, huh?
She did, and I just wanted to add, I'll be very quick, I just wanted to add a couple of things. I know we've now heard from numerous neighbors, and also including Michael Barton, whom we engaged with respect to this application. The biggest thing for me, and I'll echo this, that I know my wife already said, is privacy and also keeping and maintaining with the aesthetic of the neighborhood. There's been absolutely no outreach to the neighbors, to ourselves, about this design. Quite frankly, I feel like the transparency of the design and the numerous documents that have been submitted must make everybody's head spin on this panel. I also want to reiterate, Jay Robinson, our counselor, has actually taken a much closer look at this specific application, and I think that speaks volumes. We're all trying to better ourselves and better our homes and our lives, and we appreciate that. As my wife stated earlier, we are in fact doing that right now. We would ask that this application be rejected with many caveats. I think it has to go before zoning, it needs to go before planning, and it needs to follow the proper process, as all of us have done. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Question? Okay. Mr. Agent, could you please come back here?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi. I want to say you're very talented to get all these people involved in the things. So Really,
Yeah.
look how many people
have
he
not seen
discussed
even-
it with
yeah.
them. You have like the counselor is writing about it. So could you please tell us what you're doing here, because we're going to have to make a decision and move on.
Yeah. I should mention that, before we start working on it, we closely review the character of the neighborhood. And based on our design, which is, in our opinion, is according to the neighborhood characters, and I guess that, the staff is just not, they are right too, I accept that one too, they approve that one. We have not did something differently, except based on what my clients would like to live over there. Okay, first of all, when they are saying that the attic space is not right over there and then they want to use it, they are judging something that is not happen and is not is not would not happen in the future too. Is not planned to do so. And this is one. And second, they are judging our previous submission, not the one that we submitted right now. The numbers that we provided over there is just accurate. And whenever that you are saying that it is 0.64 is the FSI, when we are applying for permit, it has to be exactly 0.64, not 0.64, even 1 after that one. So these are the things that we are pays to follow based on the code requirements, the zoning requirements. When they are saying that the attic space is not attic space, based on the case number PL130592, you know much better than me that, Ontario Municipality Board just reviewed that case and says that, what is count as attic space and what is count as floor space. When we are saying that a room has a double height, it's not, it's just when we are mentioned that one because they requested we show the attic space area and, a section through that one and show that, yeah, it is a two-story, double height bedroom, main bedroom. So it is open to below. It is not, usable attic space to somebody to go for there, over there to use it, that it is open to below is usable. And second one, those other dormers that we have, it exactly is the character of the neighborhood. There are lots of third-story dormer on the neighborhood, which is exactly is the same. When they are saying that the door is, the window is just operable, no, the windows are, could be not operable. It is just the window well for bringing light to the building, nothing more than that. When they are saying the engineer trust is not provided, so everybody knows that it is not the stage that we're providing that type of information on top. When we want to build it after the building department, we have to submit those information to the building department, not right now, but it is exactly what we want to do it, okay? And there are lots of, as I said that, for example, one of the oppositions that, oppose our building, the 32 RUMSEY Road, they have exactly the same as us. They have ceiling windows, from the bottom to the top to the ceiling to the backyard. So when I'm saying that, I reviewed the character of the neighborhood and we designed that when we designed it, we want to just, build something which is exactly inside the norm. It is inside, but, the variances that we have, it is really minor. If I just mention some of them, 77 Macri, okay? So the height is 8.83 and the FSI is 68%. Lot coverage is 73%. If we go to 118 Agri, okay, Agri Road, it is height is 8.79, FSI 67%. If we go to 70 Macri Drive, height is 8.81 and FSI 68%. 83 Macri Drive, 38.5% is the October 20, 2020 approved. So we design based on the the neighborhood characters. We design and we really appreciate the staff that help us to bring up those things which we submitted on June and say that those are not in the norm of the neighborhood. I discussed it with my clients and they accepted that one, that we changed those according to the neighborhood and they respect the neighborhood requirements. Okay, so to make the long story short, in my opportunity, opinion, this is the opportunity that I can talk and say that my clients have just 5 or actually 4 minor variances that I request from the committee and the chair and the committee members to approve it in favor. Thank you so much. I appreciate for your time.
Okay, stay right there, please. Questions? Okay, Mr. Tarodi, please.
To you, Mr. Chair, it's not the question, but I would like to ask the applicant to repeat the modification he did to the application by variance number 1. What is the, if you change, can you go repeat it one more time? So that everyone knows that what is the modification.
The modification, okay, for variance number 1 that we asked for, right?
No, I'm asking about all of them. Whatever you modify, please say variance number this, I modified to this number. Only those that you modified or removed.
Okay, so I should go through the staff report, I guess, which is dated September the 14th. Okay, we eliminated variance number 3. We eliminated variance number 5. We eliminated variance number 6. Eliminate variance number 7. Eliminate variance number 8. And modify variance number 9 regarding the floor space index, which is 0.88, and we showed it as 0.64. So
okay, thank you. And what is the date of their staff report you're referring to? Because I have it in front of me, September 7, 2023. Is that the same report?
Oh, sorry. It is September 7. Yeah, the hearing date, it says September 14, which is actually, it is not 14, it's 28.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
But as far as the requested variances don't have 8 and 9 and 10. They was gone.
Yeah.
Only 5. No, here is the public notice of September 18. Those were from June.
Yeah, but I said that, some of those information is back to our submission from the September, for the June, not for.
Yeah, it was gone. So,
yeah.
Here you go. You see it? Five variants. Yeah. Yeah, because that was before they make the changes. Anyway, sir, any question? Any more question for this speaker? Yeah.
Can he clarify his changes? Because he said he's removing number 6, but there's no 6.
There's no 6. That's what I just
So
mentioned.
can you,
Mr. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Could you please? You mentioned number 6. Could you clarify what you mean by number 6? Our application doesn't have number 6.
Okay, whatever that it was on our zoning bylaw notice item description. It's there are 9 variances over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Right. The number 6 is the maximum permitted driveway width is 3.2 meter. The width of the space behind the wall, the provided driveway is 3.6 meter. It was before, so we provided the required width which is needed for the parking.
Mr. Chair?
It is the reference number was different. Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's reading off of the zoning notice.
He keeps referring, eh?
Which is not the public notice. He
Yeah.
needs to refer to the public notice, not the zoning notice.
That's right. You should refer to that. That one shows 5, and he keeps repeating only 4.
Okay, the number 6, which is the roof eaves, okay? The one which is there, you know, the roof eaves may project a maximum of 0.9 meter, provided that they are no closer than 0.3. So we had the 0.28, we removed that one.
Sir, you're going to help it. You're going to help us to make a decision here, because we're being confused here. We're looking into the public notice that has five variances only, and you keep repeating. Yes. You keep referring to them only 4, and then you mention number 6, number 7. Could you please tell us what's going on?
Okay, sorry. We provided the waiver for 5 items in here. Number 1 is the set yard setback 0.37. The second one is the permitted maximum coverage of 38.91. The third one is the maximum height is 8.85. Yeah. And the FSI is 0.64. And the fifth one is the 5.6 meter deep parking space.
Right. This is the only thing we have. So we keep referring to 6 and 7 and 9. That was gone. And that's not
yeah, that's gone. Sorry. No,
okay.
That's gone.
Okay, this is what we have in front of us, these 5 variances, and we're going to make a decision.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
Okay, any question? Let's see, other members. Other members, any question for this speaker? Ms. Manning, please go ahead.
Right, through you, Mr. Chair. So those are the 5 variances. Are there? Can the applicant just clarify whether there's any modifications to any of those 5 variances?
No, he just mentioned that there is no modifications. This is the item that we requested.
Thank you.
Okay, so any other question? Mr. Khan.
No, sir, I'm raising my hand for motion.
Oh, motion. Okay, well, let's see if there's somebody else for a question. Any other question? Okay, so please, Mr. Khan, go ahead and make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I understand clearly what he is talking about. He has, just to repeat that what has been recommended by this planning staff, that variance number 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 has been eliminated, and number 9 has been modified, which is FSI to 0.64.
Mr. Khan,
And,
Mr. Khan, can I stop you right there? We're looking into the public notice that has 5 variances, and he just confirmed. Right. He just confirmed that he has 5 variances. So please don't take us back to number 6 and 7.
Okay, sir. 1, 2, 4, 9, and number 10. It has been retained by the applicant, and I am moving that these variances should be accepted and approved.
Sorry, we can't do that. What we have in front of us is 5 variances that he confirmed. That's what he's asking for. Now, either you adopt them or refuse them. Do what we have to do, but don't go back to number 9 and number 8 and number 7. So,
sir, thanks, Mr. Chair. You are quite right. I agree what you said. And these 5 variances, I'm moving in my motion to be approved.
You say you want to approve these variances? Okay.
Yes, 5.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Do you have a second? No, sir. There is no second for you. There are seconds to approve those, and then I need another motion. Okay, Mr. Hunt, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have listened closely to what the agent has said, listened closely to what the neighbors have said. I'm a bit distressed by the fact that there was a deferral of this for purposes of communicating with the neighbors, and it was repeatedly stated that there was no interaction between the applicant and those neighbors. Councillor Robinson has submitted a letter in opposition. So I believe I have no choice but to move a motion to refuse this application.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please? Ms. Manning is seconding. All in favor? Opposed? Mr. Khan is opposing. Okay, sir, your application is refused, and have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and the committee.
Yeah, sure, that's a good idea. We're going to have a break, okay? 10 minutes break. Sorry? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're resuming our session here, and we're into application number 24, which is 574 St. Clements Avenue. And the 24 we have here, Jillian Amos is the agent, and the owner is here also by video. So, who wants to speak? Jillian?
Yes, I'm Jillian Amos. I am the architect and agent, and I will be speaking
Thank
today.
you. That's fine. Just give
and
us,
my address.
please give us your name and your address, please. Your name is Jillian Amos.
Yes,
What's the address?
Yes, and my address is 626 Briar Hill Avenue.
Thank you. So we have here is a two-story addition. We had a lot of documentation from May and June. We got 6 variances and 4 letters I counted of support. So could you, since there is nobody else here, could you give us a very short presentation, please?
Yes, I can. We deferred the application because of the transportation staff report. I worked extensively with them to come up with a solution that worked for them and for the owners of the house as well. And so previously we were asking to have parking on the front driveway, and so we revised the parking variances that we previously had, and now so we revised the variances. So the variances that you have now are the ones that we're asking for. There's no modifications to them from the public hearing notice sent out on September 18th. And I'll speak maybe first to the parking notice, because that was the parking variance, because number 6, because that's the one that actually triggered the deferral. So currently there's a 2-story parking garage at the back of the property, and we which requires, because it's not 2 stories, sorry, 2-car, which requires that we have 2 parking spaces. Now 90% of the houses on this block have single-car garages and are all one, so they have 1 legal parking spot, and so we're just requesting the same, because we need to demolish it in order to do this addition and have access to the back. And we will be keeping, having a parking pad at the back of the property for 1 car, and that's what transportation actually requested. So we are keeping that. In terms of the other variances for the house, they are all minor variances. And in fact, we have, I believe you have letters of support from the neighbors directly to the east and west at 576 and 572 St. Clements, letters of support of our application. So they have, they don't have any issues with the variances. And if you'd like, I can go through each variance, if you would like me to.
No,
The first variance.
We don't tell you what to do. You have 5 minutes. Use it as you wish.
Okay.
And if you're finished,
so
if you're finished, we'll move on.
Okay, I'll go through it quickly. Variance number 1 is just because of the rear patio and the grading in the back of the property. And then variance number 2 is reducing the number of parking spaces from 2 spaces to 1 space, as I was talking to earlier. And variance number 3 is regarding the side yard setback. On the west side of the house, the existing side yard setback is 0.97 meters. And we are we want to keep that setback for the addition. However, as you can see on the east side of the property, we have 2.48 meters. And in addition, I had sent in supporting material on September 19th that there are, regarding side yard setbacks, there's at least 5 others on the street that have similar or smaller variances of 0.9 meters for new houses. And this is a variance we're asking for just because of an existing condition. Variance number 4, with regards to the building length, we are asking for an extended building length for that bump out addition that we have at the rear of the property, and which is minor in variance. And once again, there's many other examples on the same block, at least 5 others that I provided the addresses for other building length and depth variances that far exceed that. And variance number 5, regarding the building depth, we're asking for 19.42 meters instead of, and we were allowed 19 meters. And actually, it would be 19 meters if you didn't include the bay window at the front, which normally wouldn't be included, but because it's existing and has a foundation, it is included. And then the last is the floor space index. We're asking for 0.72, and there's at least 6 other houses on the street that have variances of 0.81, 0.75, 0.83, and those have all been approved. So once again, these variances are all minor. And that completes my presentation.
Thank you. We don't have anyone here in the audience for number 24, which is St. Clement's. Nobody here? No. Okay, members, any question? If there is no question, can I have a motion there, please? There is no conditions here. Mr. Hunt, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe that this is a fairly straightforward application, and given that there has been no opposition, I have to believe that it is characteristic of the neighborhood, so I will move approval without condition.
Thank you. Second, Mr. Tarodi, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Unanimously approved. Your application is approved and there is no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members.
Bye-bye. Okay, we have number 25, which is 8 Ridge Hill, application number 25, and here we have 25 Mr. Franco Romano.
Mr. Chairman, Franco Romano, 321 Lakeshore. Thank you for having me.
The address, your address?
321 Lakeshore.
Thank you. Okay, so what do we have here? We had we have 10-story residential units, 12 variances, forestry condition, and we have some letters of objection. Could you please make your presentation? Give us a 5-minute presentation so we can move on.
Yes, thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. So thank you, staff, also for bringing up my presentation slide. So this application involves an existing apartment building. It's an existing 2-story with a roof above. And the site plan that's in the middle of the screen shows the building footprint. So several of the variances that are before this panel today relate to the existing conditions. So front yard setback, driveway width, building depth, all the setbacks rear yard setback is to a pinch point, a side yard setback, the landscaping along the east and the west, which is basically a landscape strip. There is a new landscape strip that's being proposed along the rear. There's been a reconfiguration of the rear parking, and that's consistent with our discussions with transportation staff, which have no objections. We've also worked with planning staff to result in this revised application. In terms of floor space index, the proposal above grade is actually 1.17, whereas 1 times is permitted. The basement, much of the basement is being included by the zone examiner as part of the floor space index calculation. And what is being suggested in terms of the proposal is that the building footprint is being maintained, largely being maintained. So at the front, there's obviously a new front entrance that's being reconfigured. But this was originally back in 2022 being considered a building addition, but because of just less than 50% of the walls being retained through a review of the structural elements, it's now considered a new build. But it's a new build that is essentially using the exact same footprint and building walls. In the upper left, you're going to see a front elevation. That front elevation shows that that the existing building height, just for the existing 2 stories, is roughly where the proposed 2 stories is. So the roof is being removed, and you have a 3rd story that's being proposed. This is an R zone, so it's an apartment zone. It's next to an existing 4-story apartment building to the right or the east, and it's next to, and those are also apartment buildings built to 2 and more times coverage. And then there's detached residential to the west, which is in a different zoning category and within the neighborhood's designation. So the proposal is basically a transition between the 2. And that is what is being referred to in terms of the air photographs that you see there. So this is not a detached dwelling that's being converted. It's a multiplex, basically adding two dwelling units. The proposal for the rooftop terrace is that the part of the roof would be used as a rooftop terrace, and that elevation, I'm not sure if we can see the entire elevation on the left side, but the permitted building height is 21 meters for this property. And the proposal is at just over 11 meters, and it's actually being dropped from what was shown as a building addition back in 2022, which was a 17-meter building height. So there have been a number of improvements, and in the lower left-hand side of the slide, you'll see those being articulated or described in the slide. So what is being proposed here is very much in keeping with the surrounding physical character as it relates to an apartment building and its transition to detached residential to the west. In terms of the new construction, a number of the windows along the west side is removed. You'll see that in the architectural drawings compared to what is there today. And the front balconies all exist. And those are what are being identified as variances for the west side yard setback. There is the 3rd floor that is new, so that would be an additional front balcony. And we're happy to introduce a privacy screen along those front balconies, as well as for the rooftop terrace, a planter box along the perimeter of the roof edge, so then there's no overlook or privacy impacts. So we've worked with staff, and staff have no objections, including transportation staff. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Okay, we have here Carmet Finner. Please come up. You're very patient, huh?
Thank
you. So for the records, could you repeat your name and address, please?
Hello, Mr. Chairman, members of Committee of Adjustment. My name is Carmit Finer Toran. I live on number 10 Ridge Hill Drive, which is west of the property
Yeah.
that is.
If you don't mind, just speak up a little bit.
Sure, I'll come closer. Is this good? Okay, should I repeat? Or it's all good?
Please go ahead.
Okay. The first public hearing regarding 8 Ridge Hill Drive was to occur on November 3rd, 2022. The public hearing notice for that meeting was dated October 24th, 2022. The notice listed 10 requested variances. No support letters were filed from neighbors. Rather, all letters from neighbors opposed the granting of the requested variances. At the request of the applicant, that meeting was postponed until today's meeting in order to communicate with neighbors. As far as I know, no communication was done. I have at least 2 neighbors verifying it. However, after the cancellation of the first meeting, the applicant constructed 2 below-grade patios on the front street side of the property, which further expanded the footprint of the low-rise apartment and also further encroached upon the availability of front yard landscaping. These constructions are exactly opposite what is recommended on pages 46, 47, and 50 of the City of Toronto's Townhouse and Low-Rise Apartment Guidelines, January 2018 version. These construction activities by the applicant also occurred without any variances being granted and in opposition to the unanimous communications that had been submitted to the city by the property's neighbors in regards to the first meeting. Subsequent to the first meeting date, the applicant also removed what appeared to be a large healthy tree from the property's front yard. It is not known by the neighbors if the proper prior approvals and permits were obtained for the destruction of this tree. However, regarding today's meeting and the public hearing notice that was dated September 18th, 2023, the applicant is applying for 12 variances with plans to further enlarge and squeeze a low-rise apartment building into a small residential lot on a residential street. It is concerning that by granting such applications, the city will be rewarding a person for using the "it's better to ask forgiveness rather than permission" approach to construct in Toronto. This application is an opportunity for the city to send a message and say that any commercial landlords and property developers who take that approach will not be rewarded with their requests variance being approved, especially in the face of unanimous opposition by the neighbors. I would like to have today's meeting postponed in order to learn more information from the city. I would like to know, did any constructions activities in the past occur at 8 Ridge Hill Drive without the proper permits? Was a variance required prior to the construction of the below-grade patios on the front side of the building? Does the city agree that the applicant's plan for the property do not meet the guidance found in city townhouses and low-rise apartment guidelines? Was the tree that was removed from the front yard done so with the required prior approvals and permits? Is a copy of the application and arborist report available? What are the true numbers of variances, since there is inconsistency and inaccuracies in the numbers we were given? Finally, more neighbors want to be heard out, but feel that 3 days' notice was not sufficient to respond. Some neighbors got 2-day notice to respond. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of committee.
Okay, thank you. Just a question here. We generally we used to take the deferral request only from the agents, not from the public.
Okay.
No, but now we changed our
Great.
our view, so we can entertain a request from the neighbors as well. So we have a request here for deferral. Members, we have to decide on it, then we move. If we okay, members, we have a request for to defer this application. Can you please move on it? Say yes or no.
Mr. Chair, is this lady the only person who want to talk?
It doesn't matter. When there is a request for deferral, we have to deal with it first. So if we defer it, then we don't have to talk. And
I know, but is there any other?
Then we'll tell them that we're deferring it. But in the meantime,
We can't listen to all the people who are opposing, and then we can make a decision. We have to make a decision now.
No, if we hear all the people opposing it, then we will discussing it. So all we asking here for just the deferral from the neighbors. I don't have any other neighbor who want to join the deferral.
There is Rob that I'm not sure whether he is able to speak.
Yeah, Rob Kutzer, we have him online.
Yes.
We're going to be talking to him, but he's not here to, you know what? Let's get him online just to see if he's agreeing with you to defer it, and then we'll make a decision, yes or no, then we move on to that.
Thank you.
Mr. Rob Kutzer, are you there? Mr. Kutzer?
Hello?
Yeah, could you
Hello?
could you please state your name your name and address, please?
Rob Kotzer, Kotzer, 11 Ridge Hill.
Thank you.
Which is
Ridge Hill.
Yeah, I concur.
Okay, can you please just wait a second and let me speak? We have a request here for deferral. If you agree with deferral, then we'll vote on it. Doesn't mean we're going to accept it, but we'll vote on it. If not, we'll just vote on the motion of the lady here that's asking for deferral. Are you okay with the deferral, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, so you also are deferral. Okay. And here in the chamber, anybody else for number 25? No. Okay. All right. So members, we have a request from the neighbors to defer the application. So we have to make a motion to defer or not to defer. If we're not deferring, we'll discuss it now. We'll entertain it. Ms. Manning?
I'm just wondering if the applicant has a response to the...
There is a request for deferral. Do you agree to defer? You say, yes, I defer for Sanidai, or say, no, you don't defer it. So we move on to discuss the application. Mr. Hunt?
Mr. Chair, I'm concerned about some of the discussion regarding the intention to discuss with the neighbors that it appears that some construction has already taken place in anticipation of, I assume, an approval. So I'm going to move deferral of this application sine die in order that the applicant can discuss with the neighbors what their intentions are and what the concerns are.
Okay, thank you. Second? Ms. Manning is seconding. All in favor? Okay, unanimous. Okay, sir. Mr. Romano, your application is unanimously deferred sine die, so we can't discuss it today. You have to check with the staff when it's coming back, and we'll entertain it at that time. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And members of the committee.
Mr. Chairman, I heard that decision, and I'm I'm a little saddened to hear that the applicant was not asked about the deferral and was not asked regarding the questions that and the information, including false information that the deputant made and asked for a deferral. So I'm a little saddened that that has taken place and that the applicant was not given a proper opportunity to respond to a deferral request in this venue.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Application number 26, which is 284 Parkview Avenue. And 26, we have Ali Tanha. Are you there?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and the committee members. Ali Tanha from Ali Design Inc. My address is 3317 Unit 301,
Thank you.
Toronto.
Okay, thank you. So now we have, this is a new dwelling. We had, this was deferred in July, and to address forestry, 6 variances, and forestry, we still have forestry condition number 1. Members, do we need a presentation here? Yes, no? Okay,
No.
Could you please make a short presentation so we can move on, because we don't have anybody else registered here.
Yeah, just review quickly what happened. We were here and there were, the variance is very straightforward. I'm not going to go into variances, but in general, there were concerns regarding the proposed driveway by Urban Forestry. So we had the time to address the comments and have this communication with them. And now they found the driveway in reasonable condition to not to be against the application or to ask for deferral. And later on, we will have to apply for the permits for the trees affected by this application. There were a few comments by, originally there were a few comments by the staff, planning staff, and we had, due to this comments by Urban Forestry, we had the time to revise our drawings, go back to get a revised zoning notice, and the new zoning notice is reflective of those changes, which they were mainly about considering the building a 3-story building. Now it's been addressed, and that variance has been eliminated from the variance list. There were some items related to that has been eliminated as well, which was a platform. The rest of them, they're pretty much along with the usual variances we have, and to my opinion, meet the 4 tests of the Planning Act and minor in nature. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Tanha. Anybody in the audience here that would like to speak to this application? No? Okay, and we have nobody else listed on the for the video. So, members, any question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate an explanation regarding variance number 5 and 6 specifically.
Yeah, sure. Number 5, I'm assuming you're concerned about the 1.23. I have to mention that that is not the actual setback on the side yard, and that 1.3 is specifically in regards to the bump out that we have for the fireplace as shown on the site plan. And it's only one portion. It's a kind of fireplace chimney bump out, and it doesn't have a footing. And the rest of the building is, the setback is 1.53 or 5 feet at that side. That is number 5. And then number 6, as you mentioned, is the setback on the other side, which is the street. We had this communication with the staff regarding this variance due to the distance from the actual intersection. There was no concern about this variance and getting closer to the property line on that side. I have to mention the curve on the property is causing that number to be lower than what it actually is, and the actual setback from that side, as shown on the site plan, is above 2 meters for the rest of the building. Only on the right corner on the site plan, bottom right corner, is where we have the 1.38 meter setback, and the rest of it is it goes up and it eventually gets 2 meters, over 2 meters. We discussed this with the staff, and the staff didn't have any concern. As I remember, I think they had mentioned 1.4, and we have 1.38. The difference is less than an inch, and we have increased it to 1.4 as shown on this site plan. I think it's a typo on the zoning notice, but we're okay with 1.4.
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, let's see when the members come up.
Can I come?
I don't see though. Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see it there. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, sir, my question is about variance number 1. Driveway width 7.92. Is it at the curb or at the entrance wall, or where it is?
7.92 happens where we get to the parking space, because it's a 3-car garage. We need that width in order to facilitate the entrance to the garage, but at the curb, the width is much lower. The width at the curb, I'm just looking at the drawing, is 5.9 meters. And transportation also has a report on this file. They don't have any concern if, given that we deal with urban forestry regarding that tree. Otherwise, they didn't have any concern about the width.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Any other question? If not, can I have a motion then, please? Ms. Attarodi?
Yes, to you, Mr. Chair, I've been convinced that this is very minor. Therefore, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application. I only would like to tie it to the site plan, that the site plan of this development, and also would like to add the condition of urban forestry.
Thank you. Second? Mr. Khan seconding. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, sir, your application is approved, subject to forestry and to attach to site plan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 27, which is 182 Horsham Avenue. And here we have Mr. Peter Higgins. Are you there? Peter Higgins.
Yes, I beg your pardon, Mr. Chairman. I am here. I am not the applicant. I am representing the neighbors immediately to the east at number 180 Horsham. And that is Michael DeRoberts and Pat
Just a second. Just a second. Oh, Mr. Higgins, you're representing only the neighbors, huh? But
that is correct, sir.
It said here Peter Higgins, the agent. We need the agent to talk to before the neighbors. It said here Peter Higgins, the agent. Anybody in the audience here for, please come up. Tell us what it is. Your name, please, and your address.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. My name is Michael Butterfield, and this is my wife, Esther Butterfield, Butterfield, Wife is Esther Kirkljush. Last name is Krkljus. We have an agent that's going to speak on our behalf. We were just here just in case there were any questions.
So the agent is Mr. Peter Higgins?
No, he's acting on behalf of the neighbors who are
I
objecting.
See. So how come he's listed here as agent?
I'm not. Agent's name is Bruno, and I can't remember his last name. I have it, but he's from.
Bruno, is he online?
He should be online.
Okay, Bruno, what do you remember?
Chair, it's Bruno Lopez. I'm here.
Okay, could you please state your name and address for us, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair and committee members, good afternoon. My name is Bruno Lopez from MXL Engineering, located at 1649 St. Clair Avenue West.
Okay, and you're acting on for 182 HORSHAM, right?
Yes, correct. I'm the applicant on behalf of the clients, Mr. Michael and Mrs.
Okay, so the this is a two-story rear addition. This was we have lots of documentation from June, July. It has 6 variances and staff report asking to refuse variance number 4. So could you please address that and give us your 5-minute presentation?
Absolutely. So, Mr. Chair, I believe I might end up to save some time for my clients if they wish to make some final comments. So I can gladly go over all the variances. So the zoning notice actually had only 5 variances. Whatever was sent out, it's 6 because variance number 4 and 5 were combined. Now they are separated. We are here because of the deferral. On the very first time we came here, there was actually a mistake done by the zoning examiner where he located something on the west where it's supposed to be on the east, but here we are again and addressing one by one. So number 1, we are proposing a rear deck and the setback is 0.85 when usually it's 1.8. So the deck is going to be in line with the wall. So it's almost a nonsense to set back the deck so far because we just didn't keep with the wall. So if staff can go to the site plan, we'll see that we just keep the alignment. In regards to number 2, the building length is 17 meters, so we are at 17.678. So we are like 0.7 over the allowance. So I believe this is very, very minor. The next one, number 3. We can actually have a lot coverage of 30%. We are at 31.66, so we are 1.66. So this is so minor that we try really hard to eliminate it. But again, here we are on this one. Number 4, it's actually the one that it's a little bit let's call it awkward. And the reason why is because the rear walls actually here are almost like 2 rear walls. So we can have 1 deck per floor, and we actually have 2. But the way staff consider is that there is no exclusive clause for this particular bylaw, because one of the balconies, in fact, is at the back, and the second one, it's actually in the middle of the house. But that deck being the middle of the house, because it's in the rear, it should be actually a side balcony and not actually at the back, but staff considered that way. And again, it's not that we have 2 balconies at the back. No, we have 1, but there is another one in the middle of the house that they consider as a second one. Variance number 5, a balcony is allowed to have 4 square meters, and we have it at 6.11. So it's very, very minor. It's not that we are building a balcony with 10 or 12 or 15 meters. No, it's very minor. So the reason why we have it, and if we can get the drawing on the second floor, if staff can pull it out, actually we did just a small deck that we can make the use of the 3 doors that we have on the second floor, and at the same time gives minimum coverage for the main floor rear doors. Number 6, again, the same scenario. The setback, it's 0.75, and this just goes aligned with the walls of the house. So again, we are asking very, very minor variances. I truly believe that is a very straightforward application. It's so minor. We have a few of them, of course, but all of them combined, it's still a minor one. So this is a family that has been living 22 years on the same place, and they decide now to do something along with the neighbors, because the neighboring homes, both to the east and the west, they are about the same size as we're going to build. And that's about it. I don't know if the owners will have something to add, please. I'll leave the remaining minute and a half.
That's it? Did you finish, sir?
Yes, I did. I give the last seconds to the owners if they decide to make final comments.
Thank you. We'll be back to you after we hear the neighbors. Now,
Mr. Chair is giving one more minute to the homeowner.
Yeah.
He's the homeowner.
Yeah, we're giving it.
Okay, so I hope I get a few seconds more than the 55 seconds.
It's okay. Just tell us. He's online, and you, as the owner, we'd like you to say what you have to say.
Okay, sure. I'll be relatively quick. Just as a general proposition, as my agent said, we have been at this home since 2001. The home was built circa 1950. All around us, east, west, across the street, and I'm sure you can check on your records, there have been massive homes that have been built. We are just asking for a renovation. We're not building what I guess you might term a monster home. It's not going to be as big as some of these homes that are, at least the one right across the street from us at 181. Secondly, we have, and I hope my agent was able to send declarations of support. I have declarations of support from neighbors at 181, which is right across the street from us. We also have it from the neighbors in the back. So let me just see, at 211 Hounslow, which is the street to the north. So our backyard shares a fence with 215 Hounslow, and we also got it from 217 Hounslow. So the backyard owners, they're okay with it. We have the declarations of support. We also have declarations of support from the neighbors to the south of us across the street. The neighbor to the west of us is just not in town, but she was quite happy that we were doing a renovation. So it's a little bit surprising that we're getting this much pushback from our neighbors to the east. Finally, and I guess I alluded to this just a moment ago, so many of our neighbors are doing major renovations, knockdowns, pure knockdowns. We just want, to use a phrase, just to join the party. We've waited a long time. We want to continue living there, and we are asking that you consider it and accept our proposal.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you limited yourself to the thing because the staff is right to give you 1 minute, because normally we can't have too many people talk about the same application.
Oh.
So we appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, just a second. Any question for the speaker? Okay, so we'll hear any other one here sitting here that would like to talk? No. Okay, so now Mr. Higgins, you want to speak for the neighbors, you said?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman. This is Peter Higgins of Peter Higgins Architect Incorporated, 69 Douglas Drive in Toronto. My clients are Michael DeForest and Pat Parisi, who live in the house immediately adjacent to the east at number 180. I met with Esther and Michael and their son Evan on site at number 182. And I'm glad you brought this up. If you could just enlarge it a little bit, please, staff. No, it's too much. My clients understand that this is their dream house. They certainly do. But I'm hired to protect their interests, and I do have a number of points I'd like to make. This survey as a starting point, which then is reflected on the site plan, shows number 184 to the north as an old house that was long ago, or not that long ago, but in the last number of years, torn down and replaced by a larger home. The if you could please go to the site plan now. The concern is, among other things, that the measurements taken and reviewed by the zoning examiner are incorrect in that, if you can just pan out just a little bit there. In this site plan, it shows the 1.5-story stucco dwelling at number 184 at the top of the drawing. In fact, that house comes out further towards the street and of course is much longer, as is the norm for new houses. But it's the street front setback that I'm concerned about. You can see that the house that I'm representing to the bottom of the drawing at number 180 is measured to a bay window that has a foundation, and there's a dashed line that cuts through number 180, which is representing the required front yard setback. And that, in fact, is incorrect because number 184 to the north is forward of that line. So the required setback would go further forward. Now, it doesn't affect the length, although the length is already over the allowable 17 meters, but it does affect the depth of 19 meters because that would start from the required front yard setback. So they'd be way in excess of the allowable 19 meters. So I wanted, because you've recently talked about deferrals, I want you to be careful here that you may be approving something that is incorrect, and it's incorrect because they're using, conveniently or otherwise, an old survey that doesn't show the proper house at number 184, which is what you need to get certain dimensions, including front yard setback. Now, the requirement for the deck at 1.8 meters, Mr. Lopes kind of shrugged that off by saying, well, you know, we're just lining up with the house. We would like the committee, if you do approve this, and I'm asking you, in fact, to consider a deferral, but if you do approve it, we would insist that the deck be set back at least 0.9 and to have a privacy screen on its east side to give my clients some privacy. Additionally, if you go to the second floor plan, we have what the planning department had suggested be refused, which is an oversized balcony. It's not very deep, admittedly, but it is long. And in discussing this last night, if you go 2 more beyond that, please. There it is there. It is the full width of the addition, and therefore it's also at 0.575 meters setback from the mutual property line, and there's no privacy screen. If this committee chooses to approve this as it is, I would ask the committee to insist that this balcony not be any deeper than it's showing here in terms of the north-south dimension towards the backyard, but that it include a privacy screen on its east side, and at the very least that the balcony be pushed to 0.9 meters as opposed to 0.75, which is aligning with the existing. Now, if you could please just give me a moment more and go to the drawings that show the facades. This is another question where I'm thinking a deferral is required. That's the new proposal. If you go back one more, it shows the windows, the dormer being removed, the roof of the dormer, etc., because they are going with a stucco wall that goes straight up from the main floor. But I believe that the zoning examiner has mistakenly considered all the numbers that Mr. Lopes offered in terms of what's remaining and what's not. And in my calculations, there is nowhere near 50% of the existing walls remaining in place because windows are being removed and windows are being moved. If you just bear with me for 30 seconds, and you go to the side elevation, which is the east side elevation facing my clients, there are a ton of, keep going if you would please, a little bit further. And so that's the existing right there, 3 small windows.
Okay, Mr. Higgins. Mr. Higgins, we're going to ask you to summarize, and if they have any questions, if members have any questions, you can answer, please.
Thank you so much. I will summarize now that we're very concerned about the number of windows on this side, their location, And the fact that there are operable windows, there are no fire shutters, interior or exterior, and the note from the engineer who drew them, Mr. Lopes, simply says fire-rated glass of some sort with no further information. So I'm very concerned that not only is this not a renovation addition, but because of all the changes, it is in fact what you would consider a new build by the law. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. So just wait in case if there's any question. Do you have any question for the speaker? No? Okay. So what do we have here? We have the agent coming back. Do you want to respond to this, or you want to get the agent talk for you?
Mr. Chair, I think I want to take the technicalities and maybe the owner.
You want to get the agent? Yeah. Okay. Yes. So please come back and respond to those concerns.
So through you, Mr. Chair, yeah, actually, what the agent for the next door neighbor asked or request. So variance number 1, we go from 0.84 to 0.9. I believe that one would be doable. I don't think the homeowner my client will have any problem. We are talking about 6 centimeters, which is very minimum. So in a sense, I'm surprised, but I think we can comply. In regards to what the zoning examiner did in terms of calculations, again, we can be here like trying to interpret multiple different ways. I truly believe there is a professional on that side, and he did his best. And on our end, we did exactly the same. We tried to save costs. We tried to maintain every single possible piece of structural on that building that we can maintain, we'll maintain it. So if you see from the drawings, the walls will stay the same, the floors will stay the same, we'll leave the basement the same, we're just gonna lower the basement at the rear, so the floors will maintain from the existing all the way to the back. And the second floor, eventually, we have to cut part of the roof, but because we have to implement the second floor, structurally, there is no other way of doing it. So in terms of screening, we are completely in agreement. Actually, I did a gentleman's agreement with staff from planning, Julia, because at the time, because this was already not addressed on the first time we came around, and there was no time to address it, but we're going to be more than welcome to address the neighbor's concern and do privacy screening on the balconies. However, I'll let the client talk about this situation, because this neighbor that has Mr. Higgins as representative, actually in the recent past and did renovation, they add a deck, and my clients actually, they sign off on their deck. Their deck is actually above the existing fence in height and is right facing my neighbors. And it has just some kind of decorative iron work, and it's not cladded, it's not opaque or so. So we have sort of a biased situation, but I'll let the homeowner just do some final comments.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Do I have authority to go ahead?
1 more minute. Okay.
Certainly.
Please go ahead.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said to wait.
No, I said what?
Oh, I see. So further to what my agent just said, with regard to the back deck, he's correct. We signed off on the back deck that the neighbors built several years ago. I think it's about 10 years ago. And that deck is above the height of the fence. Right now, they can look down on us, and a privacy screen, they didn't seem to think that it was important for them. Now that we're building, they think that we can look down on them, and they are very concerned about the privacy screen. Right now, even as we speak, if you look out of the 3 windows, and I think well, that's a side shot, but if you look at the 3 windows in the back, we can look down on them right now, from our washroom, from the landing of the stairwell, and from the bedroom in the back of the house. We want to get along with our neighbors. As I said, I'm a little bit surprised at the level of pushback that we're getting, but I guess this is nothing new for your committee. So finally, I'll just say this. We're just trying to do what we can afford. We can't do the new build. I would love to have the money to knock the whole place down and to put up a really, really nice structure. I don't have the money. I'm doing, my wife and I are doing what we can afford. So we ask you to take that into consideration.
Okay, thank you. Any question for this?
Yes.
You want a question?
Yes.
Excuse me, there was a question for you.
Yes,
I'm
through
sorry.
you, Mr. Chair. I just would like to know if you agree with the privacy screening or
Yes, we'll consent to that.
on the east side only.
Yeah, we'll consent to that.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's a good, okay. Very good. Okay, any other question? If not, can I please have a motion then? Ms. Satarodi?
Yes, to you, Mr. Chair. I've been convinced that this is a very minor variances, and therefore I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with only one changes, that it's variance number 1. So the proposed rear deck is set back 0.9 meter from the east lot line, and also would like to add the privacy screening only on the east side of the rear deck. And
That's it.
that's it.
Thank you. Yeah.
No,
Anything
I
else?
think there is no
No,
forestry.
there is nothing, no conditions here.
No forestry.
Okay, thank
that's
you.
my motion.
Thank you. Second, Ms. Manning seconding, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, unanimously approved with just that screen and yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and
Okay.
members of the committee.
Okay, good luck. All right. So who's gonna get the okay, application number 28, which is 32 HOYLE Avenue, application number 28.
Good afternoon.
Hi,
It's,
Mr. Yeah, I'm looking at your name. Mr. Rubinoff, could you please state your name and address, even though we know you?
Good afternoon. It's Glenn Rubinoff, 18 Gloucester Lane, Toronto, Ontario.
Thank you. So here we have what, a new dwelling. This was deferred in
Yes.
July. Three variances. Three variances, but the staff report
Four
asking to refuse. Sorry.
There's 4 variances.
Oh,
4
okay.
variances.
Okay, let me check. And the staff is asking to refuse variance number 3. Doesn't make sense. Let me see.
It's yes. If I can kind of go through this, I can explain.
Okay, just a second,
The
please.
side wall height. Side
Okay,
wall
yeah,
height variance.
yeah. There is 4. Okay, 4 variances. So please go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, this application was before the committee back in July. And since that time, my clients went through a lot of discussion, trying to resolve as many things as possible. In July, there were 9 variances before you. There are now 4 variances before you. So there's a big difference in terms of modifications to the plans. They eliminated the side yard setback variances for the home. They eliminated the front yard setback variance. The front yard landscaping variance was eliminated, and they reduced the driveway width to comply as well. So they eliminated a number of variances. They also reduced the variance for floor space index from what was calculated at previously was including the basement, and it was at 95%.
No,
It's now been modified to, yes, exactly, to 67%, which is in keeping with a lot of developments and even a previous application on this property in the past. So what we have before you is, we also had opposition before, and this is something else that they've spoken to the neighbors on both sides and adjacent neighbors in the area, and they're no longer in opposition to this. So they made a lot of adjustments. The other thing I just want to point out is the wall height variance. There's an overall variance, height variance of 10 meters, and there's a wall height variance required to be 7.5. So there's no overall height variance. It's just a sidewall variance. I'm not sure why the excuse me, why the planning department is concerned about character in the area when there are so many. In fact, there's one 3 doors down, which was approved at 8.5 meters, and it's basically a flat roof type home as well. I believe the staff has a number of part of our submissions were a number of photos of homes in the area which were built, which have very similar type of conditions as this. So we feel that this is a significant reduction in impact on the neighborhood. We listened to the committee last time, went back and reworked it, brought the variances down, and went back to committee. I should also note that we did bring the height down of the wall from, it was previously at 8.76, and now it's down to 8.66. I spoke to my clients today about it. The ones that are just up the street was approved at 8.5. They're willing to do that, to bring it to 8.5 to match what's 3 doors down. So variance number 3, being at 8.66, we're willing to make a further reduction to 8.55 as a show of goodwill. We're not looking to do anything that doesn't fit into the neighborhood because, like I said, with the submissions that you've had in the file, we have several photos. I don't know if the staff can put them up, but there's been several addresses on our map, and also with regards to the photos in the area that not all homes are the same. Not all homes have slope roofs or fit into a certain shape. There's no architectural control per se in this neighborhood. And really, we worked with staff to make sure to bring the number of variances down, and are a little surprised that they're still objecting to that. So, especially with the fact that we spoke with the neighbors, and they are no longer objecting to this. So, it's very much a point of there we go. Yeah, there's some. I mean, the map shows where the property is, but if you go down, I think rather the photos they talk about character of the neighborhood, and these are on HOYLE. Some of these houses are on HOYLE itself and in the area. This one in particular, 40 and 42 HOYLE, that one right there, that's 3 doors down. So I believe that this is a responsible and reasonable effort to make adjustments to the plans after coming back and spending the time working on it. And we feel that the impact of something like this will not have a negative impact on the neighborhood. It reinforces.
Okay, Mr. Rubinoff, you're 5 minutes over. So,
thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So your 4 variances are okay there, except number 3. You want to change it to 8.55. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So 3 is changed to 8.55 meters. The rest remain the same. Now let me see if there is anybody else. Are you? Excuse me. Anybody else here for this application? No. Okay. And there is nobody else registered here. So members, any questions? No. Okay. So can I have a motion? And number 3.
Okay, Natasha. I think Natasha has something to say.
Sorry.
I'm ready for a motion after this question, but I thought I heard 8.5 for the modification to the.
Let me just 8.5 is what I said. Sorry, 8.5.
8.5, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready to make a motion, Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. I have to see you because they just wait a second, please. Can you remove that screen? Okay. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Manning, please go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve this application with the modification to variance number 3 be changed to 8.5 meters. I've listened to the applicant's arguments, and I think this is in keeping with the neighborhood and meets the 4-part test for minor variances.
That's it. Second? Mr. Tarodi, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, unanimous. So, sir, you're unanimously approved. And
Thank you very much.
When you're
And the
coming,
last of the day.
when you're coming at the end, we always told you buy a lottery ticket.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you. You too. All right. So, members, can I have a motion to terminate? Mr. Khan? Yeah, Mr. Khan, you had your hand. Please go ahead. You want to terminate?
Yes,
right? Terminate? Yes?
Conference will be concluded now.
Thank you. Second? Ms. Manning, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Whoever wants to stay, whoever doesn't want can stay. What is it? 5:23, whatever. Huh? Yeah, 5:23.